Welcome to Manga Recap. Episode 1077, The Act of Reverence. Kaido lost consciousness and slowly returned to his human form. He fell into the molten pit next to Big Mom. Luffy also reverted to his normal state, currently unconscious and falling freely from above. From a distance, Yamato rushed over and caught him with joyful excitement. The world's mightiest creature had officially been defeated by Luffy. Meanwhile, the fire festival in the capital of flowers had finally come to an end. Otoko released her lantern with enthusiasm and happiness. She had written her wishes on the lantern, expressing gratitude to her father. She reminisced about the past memories. Even though she was just an adopted child, Yasue was truly an amazing father. Hitetsu couldn't hold back tears at Otoko's innocent and pure soul. Nekomamushi realized that Luffy had emerged victorious and immediately relayed the information to his allies below. The alliance between the samurai and the pirates had achieved a resounding victory, defeating both of the Yonko. Everyone was thrilled and celebrated this great accomplishment. Other characters were surprised that it was only Luffy who could defeat Kaido. However, the battle also left behind many casualties, from Zoro, Kinemon, Kiku, and other soldiers who were now gathering around Chopper for treatment. Momonosuke lay exhausted on the ground. He told Junesha that he wasn't ready to open Wano's borders yet. Junesha respected Momo's decision and left. Suddenly, a loud noise emanated from the direction of Onigashima. Despite their leader's defeat, Kaido's forces continued to fight on. At this moment, Yamato appeared and compelled them to surrender immediately. "If you still wish to resist, I will crush you." Suddenly, another tremor shook Onigashima, this time caused by the molten pit reactivating. Kaido and Big Mom were pulled inside. A volcanic eruption created an immensely massive explosion, signaling the destruction of the two older generation monsters. Afterwards, Momo and the allies flew back to the capital flowers. Seeing the pink dragon figure, the people initially mistook it for Kaido and started fleeing. Momonosuke asserted that he wasn't Kaido and transformed back into his human form. Emerging from the smoke were Komurasaki, thought to be deceased, along with Kiyoshiro. Episode 1078, Shogun Kozuki Momonosuke. While the populace remained perplexed by the unfolding events, a peculiar pink dragon emerged, accompanied by the return of Wano's beauty, Komurasaki. The red scabbards emerged from the smoke, causing everyone to stir. In truth, the citizens believed these figures had perished 20 years ago. This occurrence was broadcasted across every corner of Wano through television waves. The prophecy of Lady Toki finally came to fruition. On Onigashima, Yamato revealed to the Straw Hat crew that she is Kaido's daughter, and wishes to join their ranks. The crew's reactions were mixed, with half being skeptical and the other half intrigued, especially Sanji and Brook. At this point, Luffy is being taken care of by Chopper, and he will be the one to decide whether Yamato joins the Straw Hat crew or not. Usopp is curious about why the soldiers follow Otama's lead. She explains that her ability can make enemies become her friends, but it only lasts for a month, after which those who have eaten the kibidango will return to their normal state. Speed decides to stay by Otama's side forever. Meanwhile, the red scabbards gradually move to both sides to welcome Momonosuke. The young boy has now grown into a mature 28-year-old, declaring that the enslavement system will be abolished in Wano. People can eat their fill, drink clean water without having to pay anything. Otama recalls the hardship she had to endure since birth. Her parents sacrificed themselves during years of toil under Kaido's rule. Otama had to overcome all difficulties alongside her loyal dog Komachio. It's really heartbreaking for her. Every day she had to weave hats to make a living, but nobody could help her because in those circumstances, everyone was the same. Hitetsu felt pity and decided to take care of her. Otama couldn't hold back her tears, and Nami comforted her. All her pain had come to an end. The oppressive rule of Kaido and Orochi had been completely overthrown by the pirate-samurai mink-ninja alliance. Joy spread among the people of Wano. Momonosuke asked Kinemon about what to say next. He tried to appear strong to encourage everyone's faith, because just a few hours ago, he was just an 8-year-old kid, unable to be blamed. Kinemon advised Momo to express his thoughts. Momo declared, "From now on, Wano will be led by Kozuki Momonosuke." His new form was revealed, a handsome, confident young man. The citizens and the red scabbards couldn't hold back their tears. Finally, the true Shogun of Wano had returned. Seeing her brother after 20 years of waiting, Hiyori burst into tears and rushed to embrace him. "Oh, look at Hiyori there." Momo and the allies entered the castle. "We have witnessed the birth of a great shogun who will be the most talented shogun in history, transforming Wano into a powerful nation." Episode 1079, A New Dawn. News of the defeat of the two Yonko quickly spread throughout the Five Elders' Star. They were deeply concerned that this event could cause a global upheaval. Especially, the fact that Wano's borders remained closed made the world government hesitant to take action. The Five Elders issued an order for the Cypher Paul agents to capture Nico Robin, but they were uncertain about how to respond. Just then, someone interjected into the conversation, saying that the agents should stand down as their help is on the way. Meanwhile, on Onigashima, Hawkins, with his injured body, reached the location of X-Drake and asked, "Are you a Marine?" X-Drake didn't reply. His condition wasn't promising. Hawkins stated that the Yonko were truly powerful. From the moment he saw Kaido, he knew there was no way to win. However, Kid and Killer continued to resist. Eventually, they didn't die and even emerged victorious. Initially, Hawkins had predicted that the Alliance had a chance to win, but he didn't want to side with Kid. During the battle, Hawkins had divined that there was only a 1% chance of survival. This wasn't referring to X-Drake, it was actually himself. After saying this, Hawkins lay down, and it wasn't clear if he was still alive. 7 days after Wano regained peace, the Fire Festival continued. Wano's children learned about history once again and were told that the Kozuki clan had saved the kingdom. People lived in tranquility without fearing illnesses. They discussed the liberating warrior, Joy Boy, who saved the kingdom, yet they didn't know for sure who Joy Boy was. At the Ringo Cemetery, Kawamatsu is deep in thought while sitting with Kinemon. Ashura and Izo have passed away and are buried there. The fox Onimaru has also reunited with Kawamatsu. The phoenix Marco arrives and shares about Izo. He once again has to witness a loved one's departure. On another note, Yamato has climbed up to the castle roof to pray for Luffy and Zoro. Not long after, it seems both of them have awakened. Hiyori rushed to inform Momonosuke and Yamato. They quickly arrived and saw Zoro and Luffy eating heartily. Momo was delighted and greeted them, but it seems they didn't recognize him. After explaining, Zoro remarked, "He looks strong," and wanted to test his strength against the young boy to assess the strength of Odin's bloodline sword technique. Momonosuke took advantage of the opportunity to rush forward and hug Nami just as he did before. However, Nami reacted quickly and delivered a powerful punch that sent Momonosuke flying. Now, he has lost his privileges as a child. Luffy thanked Yamato for caring and worrying about him. During their recovery period, Hiyori took care of everything for Zoro, which infuriated Sanji. "That damn mosshead." Zoro retorted that he came back just to keep his promise of taking Sanji's life. Right after, the two of them launched into a fight as usual. Everyone agreed to take a bath together to refresh their spirits. A peculiar thing was that Kiku was in the women's bath because she had a feminine spirit. Meanwhile, Yamato joined the men's bath, as she wanted to truly emulate Odin. This scene left Sanji, Brook, and Momonosuke extremely excited. Outside the port, the pirate alliance of Kid and Law gathered to eat. However, they maintained vigilance as there was a possibility of another danger approaching. The crew members discussed the captain's new bounty level. This time, it's bound to increase significantly. Surprisingly, Apu appeared along with a number, carrying the latest newspaper. It was Apu who leaked information from Wano to the outside world for the journalist Morgan. The news clearly listed the bounties of the trio, Luffy, Kid, and Law, and also announced the upcoming promotion of a new Yonko. In a different turn of events, on the seas outside the land of Wano, the Navy Admiral Green Bull was suspended in the air, gradually moving towards Wano using a blossom on their back. Episode 1080, New King. The newly issued bounty posters kept being circulated, provoking the Five Elders' anger. Meanwhile, journalist Morgan was excited about this hot news. This sudden event spread globally. Kaido and Big Mom both defeated by 3 rookie supernovas from the worst generation. All 3 captains had colossal bounties of 3 billion berries, and even Luffy with Gear 5 made an appearance on the news. Inside the castle, the festival continued with free food and games. Luffy and the crew members joyfully frolicked, immersed in the festive atmosphere. However, Robin seemed to be interested in something else. She went down to the castle's basement hoping to find a poneglyph. Surprisingly, Hitetsu appears and starts conversing with Robin. He removes his mask and reveals himself as Kozuki Sukiyaki, Odin's father, as well as the grandfather of Momo and Hiyori. It turns out that not long ago, Orochi had imprisoned him in this basement. When Sukiyaki returned, Wano had undergone rapid changes. Robin asked if Pluton was in Wano. In another scene at the Udon prison, Admiral Greenbull causes havoc and annihilates all of Kaido's crew members. He takes control of King and Queen. Finally, the enigmatic Navy character is unveiled. The Admiral's true name is Azumaki, possessing the power of a Logia type that controls vegetation. Queen is drained of vitality and withers away, and King isn't faring any better. It seems they've both been defeated by Azumaki. After passing them, Azumaki holds Luffy's bounty poster and heads towards Wano. Meanwhile, Luffy is enthusiastically drinking, singing, and frolicking with the people of Wano. However, Kid arrives and wants to challenge Luffy. Luffy doesn't let this affect his mood and pulls Kid over to join him, enjoying the dazzling fireworks in the sky. Kid flicks Luffy's hand and shows him the newspaper, revealing changes in the Yonko list. Apart from Shanks and Teach, Luffy and Buggy have risen to this position. Luffy is confused about what's happening. Meanwhile, Azumaki seeks to eliminate Luffy, as plants and leaves sprout from the ground as he walks by.